Welcome back to the Ankle Breaker podcast, and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Vidz. And everyone, this is an official new start to the podcast in 2023. So, things have changed. It's a new year, things have changed. I've planned heavily to make some changes to the podcast next year. Obviously some calls were tough, some calls were easy to make, but in the end I've come to a conclusion where I thought changing co-host was the way to go, and I thought making some other changes across the podcast would be put in place as well. So everyone, pleased to announce that I've got a new co-host on the podcast now, and if you don't know who this man is, I don't know where he lives, but you have to know who he is, and this is All That Champ. I've been on the podcast before, been on my channel before in the past, and honestly, I'm very pleased to have you. It's fantastic to get someone like this idol, iconic man himself on the channel, and it's awesome to have you on, bro. How you been? And need to do some more episodes with you this year.
Oh, bro, you know what? Thank you for having me on this show. Thank you for having me as a co-host on the Ankle Breaker podcast. Everybody in the audience, right, you guys, you are not going to be disappointed. We have a big show planned for this year. Oh, I'm so excited, right? After I left the Breakdown podcast, I thought, you know what? Maybe that's it for me as a host. And then you came along, you put the offer out on the table. It was offer I could not refuse, man. I'm keen to see what's in store for this year, bro. For real. Let's do this.
Well, just about the old podcast as well, the Breakdown podcast, one that we used to be both on. Well, I'm still on it now. I'm still the other co-host in that one. But obviously, when you were on it before, I thought you did a great job, and obviously things had taken place in that one. But no, look, bro, I just thought that when you got released from that one, and when we're not having a role at the Breakdown podcast anymore, I was like, I have no other co-hosts in my channel this year for the Breakdown podcast. I was like, why not, get someone like All That Champ on? He's a great mate, knows his footy really well, talks fantastic footy, and I thought, the right choice. There were a couple of people, I was going through the notebook, seeing who could be potential candidates for this role, but I just thought all those, yourself, and I think it's great to have you on. So, but I think the support was heavy as well. Everyone, like if you look at the comments right now, everyone's supportive of this position. The whole chat's happy about it, and I think everyone is just about as well. When I'm looking at Instagram as well, the announcement is official there as well. So, perfect fit, I reckon. But just to clarify, everyone, this podcast. First episode for this year, it's basically just going to be a little bit about what to look forward to the podcast, and basically, when the podcast will start, when it'll be back for the next time after this episode. So basically, after today's introduction, because this is only going to go for 15 minutes to 10 minutes max, because there's no topics really to talk about, nothing much on digesting to yet. But I think what's mainly happening is that you guys get an idea what's happening in the podcast this year. I feel like it's important to communicate with the fans and subscribers as best as possible about what is out forward to. So I think the podcast has to improve in some way, had to change. I feel like I know it's tough with a couple of things, but I feel like it's going to be a lot better in 2023. A lot more things are going to go our way, and this podcast way as well. I'm looking forward to make it bigger. So, it's important to get that going. So, all right. The first big thing that has changed this year is that obviously the game is there's some sort of game show. Now, when I say game show, I don't say it as like the breakdown podcast game show. Like that's completely different. It's nothing like the breakdown podcast game show. So I know how that one operates. But this one is a bit different because what you do in this game show is basically I'm not going to like tell too much because it's not going to be happening today. But basically, what's to look forward to in that game show is that there'll be a lot of trivia. So trivia basically plays like basically you have clubs and patties that plays in the past, like from the start to the end and stuff like that. So that's something that's for a bit of fun you add in as well, or I just like add into that podcast. And then also along with I guess a couple of random questions, like questions about like signings or players in general, like rookies and stuff like that. It's just it's an NRL in general sort of cute like quiz. It's all really easy. It's like having Vidz, but I feel like to entertain the viewers, it's good to have something like that on the podcast this year. So I hope you're all looking forward to that. Another major thing as well is I think I can explain at the start is that the podcast changed time. So I'm sure everyone's aware that I watched it last year and the year before the podcast. It was always 5:30. It was always in the afternoon. That's how it always started. But I believe over time that the views are a bit low during the stream. Like right now, it's 11 people watching, and the podcast started at 7 o'clock. So that's the official new time for the podcast this year. So I feel like you get a bit more viewers, a bit more people are active around that time as well. I think 5:30 is a bit more of a time where even some people knock off work or knock off things they're doing for the day and stuff. So it's a bit more of a look. It worked for a bit, but I feel like over time it just had to change. So this is the right time for it, 7 p.m. the podcast, and yeah, I think time wise it worked out well. Another thing is as well is that I originally planned with 2 co-hosts, so obviously Cam was one which I chose, but the other co-host there's a bit more of a delay because I'm still looking around and it's hard to sort of get in contact with people around this time as people are not always active. It seems like when I ask a couple of people themselves, so and I understand it's a commitment to make this podcast in time, but we will have another co-host this year. There'll be another co-host in this podcast during the year. Won't be straight away. Won't be like ASAP or anything like that. But I can guarantee everyone watching the stream right now that there will be a second co-host by April to maybe May. So we'll see how we go from there. But I guess we'll try and find someone by then. I guess me and Champ will keep communicating about who the lead could be another co-host. So I think having another co-host of the podcast is another way to make this podcast better in general. That should excite a lot of
well. Just know everyone, we're on the search, all right? A third co-host is on its way, and you know what? We're gonna make our decision right. We're gonna make sure it's the decision that's gonna entertain the fans, and above all else, enjoy being on the podcast. So when that third co-host comes, guys, trust me, it's gonna be worth the wait.
Oh, 100%. We'll be doing some good negotiating about the next co-host and stuff like that. So it's going to be good. But for now, I guess we'll continue at the 2 people podcast for now, and then we'll eventually get someone else on as well. So another thing I like to mention is guests are always going to still be happening as well, because I think that's been successful having fans of the channel or just other big YouTubers like Top Dog YouTubers come on the channel as well. So that's always been good for the channel having them on as well. So definitely we'll try to keep that up by getting more guests and even new people as well. Like people that may not be YouTube, they might play with Twitter or Instagram instead. That might be another way to go. So we'll see how we go from there. But I like to just get some new people that are really good for the show, be good for the podcast, and I think it's good to sort of expand out there, I guess you can say, and get that person a bit more knowable across the YT community or the rugby league community. It'd be good for that. I like to just sorry, Champ. I hear the dogs barking in the background. I think they're your dogs. Yeah, all good, bro.
Yeah.
no, look, what I was saying was, just continuing from like getting new people on the podcast this year, like I said, people from Instagram that are known from there or Twitter. It's a good way to expand, and I like to do that with getting new people on. So that's another thing to look out forward to this year. But yeah, I think in general, looking at how the changes have panned out, looking at what I've done to the podcast and make it better. Like I made a new Instagram account for this podcast as well. Like that's another way to expand it out. And maybe soon, there'll be a Facebook account as well. But go do a bit
in the plans.
I'm gonna make a bit more of an effort to make a Facebook account for some reason. Like it's hard, but we'll get there. We'll definitely look up to getting one very soon, but the Instagram one's good for now. What's this in the comments here? Champions fixes audio. Do you have some audio issues, Champ? I haven't noticed.
My audio not coming through good. Does this sound good on the? Am I coming through all right now?
Yeah, you do. Just like a little echo before, but it's not that bad.
All right. Well, if it persists, I'll just quickly fix it. But we'll just go on with the show.
Yeah. It's not no dramas. But yeah. Look, it's I just hope for everyone's sake that this podcast continues to get better. And because it's a podcast that I want to do ever since I quit the amazing, fantastic rugby league show. I felt like making a podcast called the Ankle Breaker podcast. And I think that's when it was that change had to kick in, change had to happen, and I think that if I'm serious about making this podcast better, I have to do a couple of things, and that was obviously look at some new ideas, and I hope there are ideas coming into this year that make the podcast better. It's been 2 years since it's been going for, so it's a year of a breakout year for the podcast, I think. So I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly.
I'd like to ask you a question, Champa.
Yep.
So, but I guess just based on the NRL season, so obviously go away from the podcast for a little bit, but based on the NRL season, what is one thing I'm looking forward to about this season? Like just how the season's so new and how it just landed in 2023. What are you looking forward to in general? Like, what's something you're looking forward to this year in the NRL? Anything new?
Well, look, I'm glad you asked me that, because if there's one thing I can pinpoint that I'm excited for the next season, it's going to be the rise of a lot of young talents. Like last year, we saw a lot of great young talents come through the system. Guys like Taylor May, David Mawali, Joseph Sawali, even boys from your team like Kolowa and the third Travojevic brother. If I could say that there's one thing that I'm looking forward to within 2023, it's just the rise of a young talent, and we saw that rise last year, and I reckon this season we're going to see more of it. There's a lot of young guns coming through the systems, coming through like Jersey Flag, New South Wales Cup, that are going to make an impact this year. So yeah, that's one thing I'm very excited for.
Yeah, you make a good point, actually. I totally agree with the junior system part. I think, reading about how many juniors are coming out right now, and have progressed through the grades and have come up, it's an amazing amount of growth. And it's really to see how much has come through. It's a big nursery of youngsters, and I think it's fantastic for the game going forward for the future. So, yeah, I totally agree. I think one thing to look forward to on the podcast as well. And, well, I say podcast because I do believe that this year, or hopefully we do, that there will be a couple of players coming on. So, I mean, it's a tough task. It's a tough task. I know it's not going to be a certain thing, but the aim is for at least one guest for one show. There'll be some players coming on. There will be some players coming on, whether they're high profile, mid profile, or just, I don't know, you can classify them as rookies haven't debuted yet. But there will be some players coming on. There will be one day someone coming on, and I guarantee it, because I've seen players that have come on other people's YouTube channels and done reviews or just talk footy in general, and a podcast like this, it should be something that a player would look forward to coming on to. Not NRL question related, of course,
Exactly.
just a bit of autobiography.
Just an in-depth of their career. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit like that sort of. And I think that'd be good for the podcast and the views, a bit more of a watch for the viewers. So nothing to look forward to in this
Exactly.
podcast, I'd say. But yeah, everyone, that's pretty much a bit of a summary of what to look forward to this year. I'm sorry about the audio. I don't know if it's my end or Campers end, but no dramas. It's nothing major. It's not really affecting the podcast live too much. But just to I guess re-clarify the chat. The next podcast will be late January. So the first week of trial match will be January. There'll be a massive preview for that. I'll try and get some guests on as well, more than one guest hopefully, and we'll pretty much predict the trial matches ahead, give a full preview on that, and give some predictions. So that's when the next podcast will happen. But for now, since it's a new year, we're going to try and I guess just kick it off a bit like this with a little introduction, because it's a new co-host, new changes, full of new things happening. So got to try and sum it up in that way of making it like a good introduction to a brand new year. So everyone, again, I appreciate you for watching. I hope you're all looking forward to the new changes you see in the podcast. It's going to be big, and it's changes hopefully that will go really well for the remainder of the year. I'd like to say again, thank you to all our champions coming on and being the new co-hosting podcast, because obviously it would have been no doubt hard for you leading the breakdown podcast before, but I thought give yourself a second chance and have another go on the podcast like mine. So, Champa, bro, it's going to be really good doing our work with you. It's going to be fantastic. Let's make the podcast better than ever.
Exactly, bro. Hey, thank you for having me on. Thank you for offering me a spot on the podcast. And you know what? I'm excited to see what this year holds. So, you know what? We got a big task ahead of us. We got so many plans to grow this podcast. But you know what? I'm keen to do it. We're gonna work together, and the audience is gonna love you guys. You do not want to miss out on anything. 2023 is going to be a big year for us.
100%. I cannot disagree with that, because I think we're going in the right direction with this podcast, and I think that it's going to be better than it ever was in 2021 and 2022. 2023 is the year. I'm telling you right now, it is the year. I know that it's only the start, but it's going to get better. I'm just saying it's going to get better. But everyone, thanks for watching the first official podcast of 2023. Again, like to say thank you to those who have watched, and thank you to those that have continued to stay patient and continue to support the podcast, because I've been getting a lot of feedback about it recently and what's happening this year. So thank you very much. But without further ado, that pretty much commences what the first episode is going to be about, the introduction to Champa and the podcast. So everyone, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and go and check out all that Champa on YouTube. I'm sure he's back uploading one day. I know he's been a bit quiet recently, but he'll upload for sure. I know, yeah, you're upload for sure, aren't you?
I'm coming back, guys. Don't worry, I'm coming back. 2023, okay?
Yeah, that's it. We need Champa back on YouTube. But thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one. We'll be back on the first week of trial matches in January, late January. So see you at episode 47 then.
See you guys.